CrisisCamp LDN.
CrisisCamp LDN.
CrisisCamp LDN.
What is CrisisCamp? CrisisCamp is a self-organising, forming gang, international group of technical and non-technical people who are coming together with a kind of emergency relief mandate, if you like. Particularly people are getting together now to try and help and do something for Haiti.
The reason I'm here today is I heard about this activity from a friend and ex-colleague who announced it via her Twitter stream, and I hadn't heard of it before, so that was on Thursday, and I thought it would be a great activity to come and get involved with.
So if you did come to CrisisCamp, what kind of things would you get involved in? Well, there's a whole raft of projects that you can be involved in at any one time, and as we build the momentum of this group here in London, I think we will see ourselves getting involved in more and more of the projects. These projects are coming from a kind of international setting. They have been, the needs and requirements have been captured by this, by many of the CrisisCamp team in the US. So for instance, today we're looking at how we can optimize a website called ReliefWeb, which is run by UN OCHA, the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, how we can make that work better in the field for the relief workers who rely upon that. That's one project. There are other small projects going on. For instance, there's a lot of things that even people who are not very technical can get involved in terms of like matching sort of face recognition type tasks. The OpenStreetMap project has a whole bunch of tasks people can get involved in. So there's a heap going on.
ReliefWeb is an information resource for humanitarian emergency situations. It has lots of different kinds of information all in one place. So, for example, I was in New Orleans after Katrina, and ReliefWeb was very useful for finding out which different organisations were out there, what they were doing, and whereabouts specifically in the hurricane area they were working. I initially heard about CrisisCamp on Twitter from friends in Washington DC, where there is also a CrisisCamp happening today, I believe. And then I went through to the Crisis Commons wiki, which is where I found the information about CrisisCamp London. I'm here because we've been inundated with requests for donations since the earthquake happened, and I think that's wonderful and tremendously important, but this is an opportunity for people to give their time and their skills.
Getting involved in CrisisCamp is really easy. Well, you'll find us on the internet. You can find the wikis. If you Google for it, you'll find all sorts of links to it. We're on Twitter and so on. There are many events going on. Institutions, organizations can also get involved in CrisisCamp. The institution or organization, for instance, that I work for, Activate, has effectively sponsored me to be here today, and we have sent 3 of our members. So you can get involved by allowing your employees to help facilitate and create this space on their work time, for instance.
Okay, so what we've been working on today is we have been looking at mapping out more of a strategic overview of what all of these camps are aiming to achieve in order to understand the sort of activities people are doing and the way they communicate. So the main driver for doing it was feeling that there was a lot of information out there and a lot of channels being used, but we weren't really clear on how those could be gathered together and make sense, particularly to newcomers, because we want to attract newcomers and we want more people to come and join in.
If we don't make what's happening here visible, there's nothing for people to understand in terms of what was going on, so they don't know next week or the week afterwards whether they want to participate. And the key to getting people organised to do stuff together online is to make it clear what's going to happen before they show up, so they kind of know what they're expected to do, and they see the kinds of people who are helping, and then they feel like they're those kinds of people and they can come to help. So that's the advantage of having sort of documentation online.
What I'd say is this is a really great opportunity of using your skills which you might otherwise feel are useless in the scenario of a crisis like the one that's happening in Haiti. So apart from donating money to relief organisations, it's hard to know what one can do to help. And actually the opportunity to use the skills you use every day and the thing that you can offer is a really great opportunity.
CrisisCamp is on for the next 4 weeks, every Saturday at the London Knowledge Lab in central London, near Holborn and Russell Square stations.
CrisisCamp LDN.
CrisisCamp LDN.
CrisisCamp LDN.
CrisisCamp LDN.
CrisisCamp LDN.
CrisisCamp LDN.